If there's one common criticism with Nerf, it's that the darts are inaccurate. You cannot hit anything with them at any range, pretty much no matter what you do most of the time. Yeah, you can pell someone close range and shotgun them and, you know, rapid strike them with a ton of darts, but honestly, you're not going to hit anything at range, which a lot of people want to do, and it's just not possible with the standard elite dart, and it hurts. And, well, not only that, these things are expensive. There's something like $20 for 100 of them. Way too expensive for something that won't last very long at all. Worn darts is a very, very big problem because if they're worn, well, not only will they not seal in your barrel good enough, but the worst offender is, well, they just don't work that well because the tip is going to get bent if it ever gets hitting anything or gets jammed, and it's going to cause, it's just terrible. Elite darts are absolutely horrible. They are the worst thing you could probably use in a Nerf war. That being said, nowadays there's a lot of alternatives. Sure, you can kind of go back and make your Steffens, and, well, the sad part with Steffens, while they are a fraction of a price, they're kind of difficult to make. You have to have a lot of practice doing it to make them effectively, but probably the worst part is a lot of places won't let you use them. They see those Steffens and they look at you and then they think, no, I don't want to get hit in the face by something that has a washer and a BB behind it. So a lot of places just won't let you use them. That being said, super stock warring is a thing, and super stock allows modded blasters as long as it can fire any standard elite dart. I mean, they still probably ban a Titan because you'd be silly not to, not that you'd want to shoot a Titan out of this thing anyway, because all you'd wind up doing is launching the tip off at someone. These are accurate darts. These are in the same vein as Koosh darts, Vowberries, FVJ full vinyl jackets, and so forth, with a little bit of a different design. Their tip is, well, solid, and it's pointed, which, I'll say it right now, you really don't want to be hit with one of these things too close. They do, in fact, hurt quite a bit. What is it about these darts that make them better? Well, for one, if you're using a stock blaster, these are a little bit thicker than your standard foam elite dart, so it seals better in your barrel. That being said, if you're using a brass breech, and it's 17-30 seconds, you're probably going to have some difficulties, as I have had with the Berserk Long Strike trying to fire these things. In fact, these are what I made the Berserk Long Strike for. But other than that, yeah, they're solid tip, they're heavier, and, well, the accuracy is far better. That being said, with them being mass-produced Chinese quality darts, there have been some issues. This is one where the tip just launched itself out. That's all it did. I put this in the Long Strike, I pumped it up 4 times, and it fired the tip off. And that is a common issue I see with these darts. If you look at the bottom in here in like the, you know, down the shaft or whatever, it's, you can see light through some of them, and that's because they're not glued properly. There's no glue on, like, this part right here. All the glue is on this little shaft right there. That's not a lot to grip your dart, so chances are if you're firing these things through anything super high-powered, you may blow the tips off of them. Not all of them, but some of them. That being said, I've looked through every single package of these, and I don't see any imperfections. No glue hanging over the side, and no real issues. And if you really wanted to reinforce that, you can definitely put glue on here if you choose. These are, at this recording, $15.50 on Amazon for 100. That is Amazon Prime, and that's not a terrible price at all. It's still cheaper than standard elite darts, and these work better. That being said, well, they're still nowhere near as cheap as Koosh or FVJ. So, yeah, you'll probably have to bite the bullet if you want to get some good darts in limited quantities shipped right to your door within 2 days for absolutely no effort whatsoever. These are definitely a better option, but, well, they are kind of expensive for a secondary dart. I would still probably recommend you get Koosh or FVJs if you know ahead of time when you need your darts. That being said, if you need to have darts now, you want them a little bit cheaper, and they're going to work better, maybe you're using something like the Berserk Long Strike, well, these will work pretty good for you because, yeah, these are much better in every single respect than standard elite darts, plus they're cheaper, so it's kind of like pouring salt in the wound for Hasbro there. It's not their fault that other people can make better designed darts than them. That being said, I'm still waiting on some really good aftermarket Vortex and aftermarket Megas and aftermarket Rivals, but it'll never happen because everybody just wants their standard elite darts. I have tried these in the crossbolt with no... Hooray! I I survived the night. It is actually 6 o'clock too. That's kind of hilarious, although it's 6 o'clock p.m. Regardless, I have tried these in the crossbolt with no issues whatsoever. I have tried these in the, what was it, the Death Scorpion? Death Stinger, there we go, that's what it's called. It's named after a Zoid, that's right. And, well, some minor feeding issues, mostly because it can't grip these are a little bit thinner at the top than your standard Elite Dart, because it kind of slopes inward while these are fatter. I shot these out of the Speedload 6 with no issue whatsoever. It was actually pretty deadly out of the Speedload 6. And I shot these out of a Strife with no issues whatsoever. These are pretty darn good. So, would I recommend getting them? Yes, if you need darts now and you want to buy 200 darts for 30 bucks, which is more expensive than just about any ammo I can think of off the top of my head. Well, I mean, you get 200 rounds for 30 bucks if you so choose, and still, that's really expensive. These are getting to the price of an actual shotgun shell. It's ridiculous how expensive foam darts are. And that's one of the reasons why I'm such a fan of Boomco, because Boomco darts are not only cheaper, but they're also more accurate, they're more durable. I never had a Boomco dart fail on me because of any kind of damage, and they are just wonderful in every respect. If only the blasters could play a little bit of catch-up. But what do you think of the accurate dart? Let me know in the comment boxes below, and if you have any more questions, also leave those in the comment boxes below, because of course I will take a look at them and answer them as much as I can. And until next time, I'll see you in another video.